Hello, so glad you could join me. My name's Naomi Light. If you're joining me for the first time, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. In this channel, we shine a light on the inner workings of you, and we figure out how you can become the best version of you that there is. And this week, it's all about the change curve. So back in the 1960s, eminent psychologist Elizabeth Kubler-Ross developed something that we now call the change curve model. It's used by people in bereavement, people in businesses, people in government to understand human change and how we transition through to a new place. I love the model, I use it as a life coach, but it really has got something missing. I have some problems with the change curve as a tool. We're going to look at those, but I have some solutions too. So let's dive right in. So in this episode, I'm going to teach you 3 practices. And these practices substitute in place of a rational understanding of change, like the change curve, and enable you to keep pace with what's actually happening, to show up for yourself an embodied way in your life, and find that your mind, heart, and body know exactly how to handle change. In order to understand what is missing, let's look at the change curve model and what it does. Some of the behaviours that might go with stage 1 of shock or denial is maybe we might avoid altogether, pretend it's not happening, and distract ourselves with something else. It may be that we go to blaming others, denying it's anything to do with us and pushing the attention away. Sometimes the emotions we feel can be really intense. Change always involves loss, and loss involves grief. The second stage is characterized by lots of negative emotion. We may lash out, we may rationalize, we may pick up coping strategies to help us with the negative emotions. But all this ideally leads us to engage in problem solving and solution finding behaviors that reach the point of acceptance, where the change becomes our new normal and we can find peace and move on with our lives. When I have used this tool with people, the main sticking point I find is that trying to rationalize and think logically about a process when you are in the midst of intense emotions is inherently problematic. If you can imagine talking to somebody who's in denial about denial and think that they probably will deny it, you've got some idea of the kind of knots that you can get into when you try and rationalize an emotional experience. You need to bring thought to thought, and you need to bring feeling to feeling. Similarly with uncertainty, if you're in uncertainty, trying to find any certainty about what's going on is very difficult. This, I believe, is what's missing from the change curve model. It is basically a rational understanding, a thought-based approach to a problem that is both thought, feeling, choice, and instinct. A lot's changed since the 1960s when this model was first brought out. Science has moved on a huge amount, and psychotherapy has moved on a huge amount. We now understand that it's not just our brains that think, our hearts think, and our guts think too. We are a complex system of interchangeable circuitry, and just dealing with the head is problematic for the rest of us. Parts of us can get left behind in the change process. Here are my 3 practices that I would love to recommend to you as you move through periods of change. First, stay curious. Second, get connected. And third, go on reconnaissance. The first practice is stay curious. Curiosity is a hugely important human attitude. If we can stay curious, we stay open. And if we're open, we can not only release the old, but we can accept and embrace the new. Try reframing negative and positive statements with the word curious. Say, that's curious when things that happen that you don't like or that you really do like, and maintain an open attitude towards the world. Curiosity is also about play. It's about experimentation. It's about following your interests and getting really into what's happening. Staying curious means that you will keep learning. Listen to great podcasts, meet new people, read fantastic books, do anything that will push you slightly outside of your comfort zone, because this is where the learning happens. As soon as you become an expert, you decide where your growth stops and you get off. Stay curious is the first principle that you will need to practice to allow yourself to move naturally through change. The second principle that you must adopt to lead yourself through change naturally is to be connected. Be connected to others in your world. The parts of your brain that will activate the reward system when you are connected with others in a positive way will reinforce the learning that you're getting. As those reward centers light up, you will be developing pathways towards positivity. Staying open to others and connected to others enables you to benefit from their perspective. Everybody sees the world slightly differently to you, which can be a source of great frustration, or it can be a source of enrichment. As you discover, you get to experience the world through others' eyes, and this will increase your learning too. And then finally, the third practice that I encourage you to take away is to adopt the principle from the military of going on reconnaissance. Now, reconnaissance is a French word by root, and it means to recognize. A reconnaissance mission is where you take an excursion into the new place you want to go, into the territory you're trying to invade, and you take a look, you experiment, you try out, you play, you do everything open-handedly and light-heartedly so that you can gain as much information as you can without taking too many risks or putting down too many roots. Taking this model from the world of the military into your personal life is a creative way for you to explore the new, to come out the other side of the change process and to engage in a fresh and vitalizing way with what is actually happening. So think about yourself going on a reconnaissance mission. Maybe a reconnaissance mission in your new workplace, or in working from home, or in your new community. Try some things out. Have some thought experiments. Don't take yourself too seriously, and you won't put too much stay on whether it worked or not, but rather the learnings that you picked up as you went on your reconnaissance mission. So, here are my 3 practices that I would love to recommend to you as you move through periods of change. First, stay curious. Second, get connected. And third, go on reconnaissance. Get in touch with me about how this video has impacted you. I'd love to hear your stories, and particularly the changes that you are wrestling with in your life as you become the best version of you that there is. Check out my other video on change called Healthy Transitions, where I drill into what mindfulness looks like as you move through change. And join me again on my channel for more shining the light into what's going on inside of you.